Making sure that you and your partners are sending a signal before you go out in avalanche terrain is of the utmost importance. We all have heard stories of professionals who for some reason ended up in avalanche terrain when their beacon was not sending a signal. So hopefully everybody is in the habit of doing a group check before they go out on a tour. But there's different ways to do it. A lot of people are simply in the habit of going to search to test the other participants' beacons. And while that can be a safe mechanism to do this, it's not what we would consider best practice with a modern beacon that has a marking function. So why would that be? Well, one of the hazards is that when you go to search, you now have to remember to switch your beacon back to send. So Barryvox has a group check function, as do most beacons on the market that have a marking function. Additionally, if you're checking multiple people, your beacon now has to discern between the different frequencies it hears. And then you have to make absolutely sure that the positive check you're hearing and seeing on the screen is in fact the person closest to you. When a beacon has a marking function and is creating a list of buried subjects, the possibility exists that the first person that comes past you is in fact who you're checking. But as they move further, your beacon is still reading them and another participant has come close to you. And you think you have checked them. So, how to get into group check. When you first turn on your beacon, across the bottom of the screen, it's going to say group check. And if you press the orange button during that time, your beacon is now in group check. When you're in group check, the range of your unit, the range of your receiving beacon, is now been reduced to only 1 meter. Okay, so now if you just have 3 meters between each participant, you are guaranteeing that that person next to you is the person you're checking. Additionally, if you forget to go back to send before you depart on the tour, your switch is still in send when you're in group check, and your beacon will default on its own after a couple minutes. Now I'll show you how to get into group check and what that looks like on your screen. In order to get into group check, you're going to turn your beacon on, and while it says group check across the bottom of the screen, you're going to press the orange button. It's going to remind you on the screen that you should be 1 meter from the participant you're checking, and that there should be 3 meters between each participant you're checking. In this case, I have a transmitting beacon about 1 meter from me, and the number is indicating 1.1, and I'm getting a positive check between the two people on the screen. If I move that target further away from me, I no longer hear a tone, and I no longer have that positive indicator on the screen. I only had to move that beacon about another foot to eliminate that sound. So you can see that the range of the beacon is very minimal. Additionally, if you get too close to the participant, you will see it say too close, and you will see a very low number. So some added benefits of group check are that you are not simply acknowledging or confirming that you have the presence of a 457 kilohertz signal. You're also ensuring that the beacon you're checking has the amplitude, the power that is required for that beacon to achieve its recommended search strip width. So you are essentially doing a range check every time you do a group check. If the beacon you're checking is a Barryvox with a recommended search strip width of 70 meters, you are confirming that it has the amplitude, the power needed to achieve that. If you're using a different beacon with a different recommended search strip width, you have confirmed that. Now, you may not feel the need for these added checks every day. If I used group check yesterday and I'm checking the same participants today, I may just need to know that it is on and sending a 457 signal. In that case, I would still go into group check mode for some of the added benefits like my switch staying in send mode, but I might then be willing to disregard the 1 meter recommended distance. My beacon will be telling me that I'm too close, I see a low number, and that's what we refer to as a send confirmation. This is an acceptable way to do a check if you have already confirmed that the beacon is operating properly yesterday and hopefully also done a diagnostic check within the recommended 3 years. And it's a useful tool for large groups that are trying to get a lot of people out in the morning. So for a ski patrol, for example, that might be trying to get 30 people out the door, going into group check but using it as a send confirmation could be an acceptable tool. For the general public, we still recommend the group check as the best practice. So a reminder and summary of one of the important functions of group check. When I go into group check mode, the range of my beacon has been diminished to only 1 meter. So I've turned the sensitivity down extremely low. When I then have a participant come past me at 1 meter and I pick them up, because the sensitivity of my beacon has been turned down so much, if I can still hear that person, that means not only have I confirmed the presence of a signal, but I have actually confirmed the strength of the signal. So by using group check and performing it properly, you're not only checking that the beacon is on, you're checking that the beacon is sending a powerful signal, and you are essentially doing a range check every time.